designer here at Knott's Scary Farm. I design mazes and get my dirty hands into whatever I can. When you're designing a maze, it's an all-encompassing thing because you start at conceptualization, then you come up with the characters, you come up with a design, and we have to draft the maze itself, and we do art direct it. So for us in design, we do occasionally do a little bit more as far as getting in there and doing some dirty work, but honestly, the design and art direction of a maze, that takes up so much time. There's not much else you can do. I mean, we've got such talented crews too, they take care of most everything else. Well, there'll be traps, lock and key this year. I think we're really taking the concept of trap to a new level and just taking what people think trapped is and turning it on its head and just creating such an incredible and insane set of rooms and environments that people will be able to, if people have an idea of what they think trapped is, they have no idea what they're in for. Well, this year my maze, the Gunslingers Grave, is coming back this year for its second year. We've tweaked that a little bit. We've added some fancy new effects to the key room to really help bring the story out, as well as adding a little bit more punch to the finale of the maze, where you'll actually be going through a shootout with the gunslinger and the gang that he's fighting against. And also this year I've taken over the chores on Pinocchio Unstrung from Daniel Miller. And what I wanted to do was take some of the things that I liked about the original Pinocchio story that weren't in there before and find ways to fit them in and really bring out more story and more environment and really get a big finish to Pinocchio. And working off what Daniel created and make it even cooler, if that's possible. Well, it's important to me, honestly, is creating a believable environment so that when people, I've gone through so many mazes over the years, so many different venues. I just don't like going through a maze and it just feels like they slap some stuff on the wall and it's just a guy going, ah, like that. What I really want to do when I go into a maze, I want to feel like I'm there. I want to be taken away. I want to be able to believe, at least for a second. Obviously, it's a guy in a rubber mask doing his thing, but I want to be able to put that aside and be in that environment. So on all of my mazes and things that I do, I want to create such a believable environment and backstory for the character so that when they're able to work in that room, they're able to actually feel they give something to work off, because when you have something that's fully realized, it's so much easier to bring the story out and bring their character out, which makes it that much better for the guests because they feel like they're somewhere as opposed to walking down a corridor somewhere, I actually started at Knott's in the year 2000. I started as a maze talent in the Elvira's Nightmares maze. And then I worked as talent for several years. I started in production in 2002, moved over to the props department in 2003, eventually ran the department for several years, and then a few years ago I came to entertainment design. It's hard to say anything really sticks out, but last year, having the Gunslingers Grave maze come out, which was my first project, my first maze that was fully mine, that was really satisfying to be able to finally create this little toy box with people and make that a reality. There's been a lot of great things over the years, but last year, bringing the Gunslingers, having it go together, and really seeing all of that hard work that I put in become a reality, that was pretty special. And hopefully it'll be even better this year with Trap. Well, definitely the season pass is a big deal. I mean, we've never offered anything like that before, and for people to be able to keep coming back night after night, that is something special. What we're doing with Infected is something we've never done before, unlike anything before, and I think that's going to be something that's really sort of revolutionary for Knott's to do something on that scale where we're taking an entire zone and making it this crazy, real, basically zombie movie that you are able to fight your way through. That's kind of insane. And both of the new mazes, in addition to Trapped with the Tooth Fairy and Voodoo, they're going to be so full and rich environments, in addition to being scary mazes, that it's not so much about the quantity we're offering this year, but the quality of everything that's going into it that I've seen so far is just fantastic. And I think you're really going to get your money's worth when you see all this stuff and all of this incredible, these great mazes that we put together. I just can't wait to see it all together.